Awesome. So my name is Ilana Drew. I am the Director of Student Recruitment at College for Social Innovation, which is the organization that puts on Semester in the City. And I'm excited to be joined here. Sophia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, yes. I'm Sophia Trigg. I work in the College of Arts and Sciences at UVM, and my title is Experiential Learning Coordinator, but mostly I help students sort of find their way to programs like Semester in the City, so I'd be available with any questions on the UVM side, credits, financial questions about tuition and all that, so feel free to reach out to me if you haven't already.
Thank you. And I'm going to give us a chance to hear from our panelists. Jackie, do you want to really quickly just say your major, when you graduated, where you interned at Semester in the City, and what you're doing now?
Hi, yeah, I'm Jackie. I did my undergrad at UVM last year, or the last 4 years, in the Rubenstein School for Environmental Studies. I just graduated, and now I'm doing the Sustainable Innovation MBA program at UVM. So I'm still on campus. You can see I'm by the green right now. There's just a really loud drivers going by, waving their Trump flag, so that was interesting. I had to turn off my mic. But yeah, and so I interned with a group called Green City Growers because I was interested in the environment side and wanted to get that business perspective. I was also a community advisor in the program, which basically was like an RA, but a little bit less, actually no, probably on par with the programming that you have to do as an RA, hosting events, and just getting to know everybody on a deeper level and making sure that everybody is having a good experience in the program. And Green City Growers was a really great experience. I was their business development and marketing intern, and I got to go on a lot of really cool trips to different gardens because it was an urban agricultural B corporation. And it definitely influenced me to be a part of the Sustainable Innovation Program now at UVM. Awesome. Hopefully I answered all your questions.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Mia now to say your major, when you're going to graduate, and what your internship was.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm a linguistics major, and I am a first semester senior, so hopefully I'll be graduating next semester. And I interned with 826 Boston, which is a youth literacy nonprofit organization. I was at the Burke High School, where I worked as a writer's room fellow, which meant I was tutoring the students and also running their creative writing club as part of my special project. So yeah, I was in the high school every day, really like hands-on working with the students, and it was really awesome.
Awesome. Vera, to you, our current fellow, tell us the same questions, and although I know you're in the middle of your internship, so tell us just a little bit about what you've been up to.
Yeah, so hi. So I'm a sophomore right now, and I'm studying community and international development, as well as gender, sexuality, and women's studies. And yeah, I'm in Boston right now. So I am a fellow right now working with 826 Boston. And I'm at the Rafael Hernandez School. And there I'm also a writer's room fellow. So doing some of the same stuff, just at a different school. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So really quickly, I'm just kind of going to give a little bit of an overview of the program for Isabella and Gretchen and anyone that is going to view this recording, just so that we all know what we're talking about here. So Semester in the City is a 15-week program where you get the chance to earn a full semester's worth of credit living and working in Boston. The main component of our program is an internship with a social sector organization like the ones you just heard about. And we match you to your internship based on your interests, your major, skills you want to build, and issues that you care about. You'll work about 30 hours a week during the semester on a meaningful special project, and you'll have a dedicated mentor to guide you through the experience. So it's an amazing way to build your network, gain real world experience, and get ready to walk out of college and into an amazing, meaningful career. The internship is supported by two kind of what we call wraparound classes that are focused on the theory and practice of social change. And these classes were designed to bridge some of the gaps between the skills that you learn in college and the skills that employers are looking for while preparing you to make change on issues that you care about. So you'll focus on things like human-centered design thinking, critical problem solving, persuasive storytelling, working on diverse teams, and then getting ready to launch a purpose-driven career. And on top of that, you get to experience living in the amazing city of Boston. So you'll live in spacious 4-bedroom apartments in Allston. It's a super fun area of town right next to Boston University, lots of college students around and cheap, fun things to do. Or if you have family or friends that are in the Boston area, you could live with them and save money on housing altogether. We plan a lot of really great community events, like things that Jackie was talking about, to make sure that you have plenty of time to connect with everyone in your cohort, so that you can make, lifelong new friends and grow your network and get the most out of your semester in the city. And one of the best things about the program is that it's designed to cost about the same as a semester on campus, even less for some students, and you gain a full semester's worth of credit, so 15 credits from UVM. But I'm gonna stop talking now and just ask the questions of some of our panel members. So I guess anyone can jump in first. I'd love to hear first off kind of like what drew you to apply to semester in the city in the first place?
I guess for me, I can go first. For me, I think I was just coming out of an experience at school where everything was very hypothetical, and I was starting to get really frustrated with that because it was just year after year of hypothetical like projects and things like that, and there's never any follow-up to understand what sort of impact a project that I was doing could have on like an actual business or an actual organization. And I saw a pamphlet in the library, the UVM library, that just said like semester in the city, and I hadn't really lived in a city before, and I didn't know what city it was when I opened up the flyer, but I was really excited to see that it was Boston, because I definitely wanted to experience the city a little bit more. So city and your life experience in the work field was definitely what drove me to apply.
Awesome. Thanks, Jackie. Vera or Mia?
Yeah, similarly, I was feeling like I had switched my major a few times. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I wanted I wanted like some real world experience to see like what I really care about, because I wasn't feeling super engaged in my courses. And I had been planning on studying abroad, but those plans ended up falling through. And kind of last minute, I saw a poster for semester in the city hanging up, and I was like, I might as well apply. So I think I applied like on the day that it was due, and just thought it sounded like a really interesting program to like, get out of Burlington, get a little something different from typical college life.
Awesome. Thanks. How about you, Vera?
Yeah, for me it was pretty similar. I kind of didn't really know the direction I wanted to go in life. Like with majors, I was switching a lot, and all I knew is that the social sector was something I was super interested in general, just helping other people, and it just aligned really well with my just drive for social justice. So I thought that just went perfectly with what I wanted to do in that sense, and also like everyone already mentioned, I just really wanted to have a real world experience, and that's exactly what this is. And that was my number one thing. I just wanted to take a break from academics and really take time to sit and learn about myself rather than all these different things I didn't even know I wanted to learn about. So yeah, that was my main reason. And also to be in Boston, because I grew up in Vermont and I did want to leave for a semester. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Vera. Yeah, I think that, one of the things that I hear the most is really kind of just like, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and try something new. So I love hearing about that from all of you guys. Vera, since you are a current fellow, can you tell everyone what, and also doing this during COVID, can you like kind of give a run through like what a typical day looks like for you?
Yeah, totally. So I'm fully remote. So my internship 9 to 5 is online. I personally really like it that way because I don't know, I'm not going in as much. I do have roommates that are, but for me, I'll usually just wake up in the morning, eat breakfast with my roommates, which is really fun because we have a really good connection. And then I will make sure to change before I start work so that I know I'm definitely like starting work at this time. And yeah, so I'll usually have a couple mentor meetings. So it's like you're really in an office because you are talking with your mentor, talking with team members, in my case, teaching students over Zoom. So you still have all of those connections, which is really great. So I'll go through my Zoom day, and then I'll usually just go and walk around Alston, maybe go on a run, or even go into the city and go shopping or something. Yeah. So it's a really good balance. And like I said before, like those relationships that you would think you wouldn't be able to build because it's online, I've still been able to build, which is really, really awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Mia, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to leave semester in the city and then go back to UVM, and if there's any like skills or experiences you think that have kind of, changed how you've gone as you've returned to school?
Yeah, totally. So it was honestly a little bit of a tough transition coming back to school because I had such a good time with semester in the city, and it's been a little tough getting back into the groove of classes, especially because I missed the whole like switch to online college classes since I was in Boston for that. So this is all very new to me. But yeah, I think like I do feel a lot more engaged in my classes now, like having a little more awareness of what I might want to be doing once I graduate and just like what generally I care about. Yeah, and I think I have developed like a lot more just like professional confidence and I think general confidence too in myself as a result of semester in the city, and feel way more willing to like speak up in my classes, just more competent.
Awesome. Thanks, Mia. And Jackie, can you tell us, I know you kind of hinted a little bit to it, but tell us a little bit more about, how leaving semester in the city and your decision to go to grad school, and anything that you think that this experience prepared you for as you're now entering or in grad school.
Well, I would definitely say that you learn a lot of those core skills in terms of teamwork, which I've seen as being really important in my experience this semester, and like while we're in Boston, working on different projects in our teams, and then working in with different like kind of colleagues, you would say, kind of understanding the etiquette, and also networking is definitely a big part of my life now that has been emphasized time and time again. Which would be especially needed if you're looking for a job. For me, applying to grad school was definitely like, how could I best like present myself professionally? And I feel like we did a lot of that in semester in the city, which was really awesome. I guess in terms of like figuring out that I really wanted to go to grad school, it was more particular just because like going into my group with Green City Growers was, they're the only business, but hearing other people talk about nonprofits all the time, and when we had our classes, just made me realize how much more I wanted to work for a business. And sitting in different meetings with my mentor, Chris, made me see that I really wanted to be a part of those conversations. And with my environmental degree, I felt like I could have the most impact going into a business conversation. And so that's why I knew I wanted to go into grad school right away, especially with COVID. COVID definitely helped me decide that a little bit, because I didn't think that, I feel like I did have confidence to know that I could get a job after college with all of the great experience that I had, especially at Green City Growers. But I knew that getting my MBA would probably be a great little breather before going into the real world again. And I definitely echo with what Mia, what Mia said, just like gaining confidence to be able to have conversations with colleagues, with classmates, and being able to be a little bit more outspoken, because you understand that like what you're learning in the classroom, it should be about like what you really care about. You shouldn't sit there if you don't care about it. And you start to think a little bit more critically in how it applies to the real world. We talk about intersectionality a bit in terms of social innovation, and I think that could be really applicable to any sort of major and job.
Awesome. Thanks, Jackie. I'd love to hear a little bit from anyone that wants to jump in, kind of like about a highlight from the classes. I know we really spent a lot of time focusing on the internship, and that is kind of the bread and butter, but what's something about the classes or a project that you did or something else that you really like enjoyed, or in Vera's case, maybe are looking forward to, because we're not even quite halfway through the semester yet.
Sorry, I always mix up the names of the classes, but Ashley's class is that Social Innovators Toolbox. Yeah. In that class, when we did our human-centered design project, that one was just like, it was so fun. My group and I loved working on that. So we had to choose an issue, a general social issue that we were passionate about, and I think we chose supporting LGBT youth. And then we had to like design a hypothetical something. It could be really anything, but some sort of like product that would help with this issue. So we designed an app. Obviously we didn't like actually create the app, but we like made up everything that would be involved in it, and we created like flow charts to show how the user interface would work. And the app was called Marcia, named after Marsha P. Johnson. And it was kind of like a networking and social media hybrid that anyone could join either anonymously or with a profile, and help them find like a network and a community.
Awesome.
And it was really great to work on.
Thanks, Mia. That's awesome. That was a really cool project. I remember that one. Anyone who wants to jump in, I'd love to hear a little bit about the relationship with your mentor. If you had, anything in particular that stood out about your time with your mentor, or how they supported you and what that relationship was like.
I can talk about my mentor. Also, I'll say, Mia, that's the project I'm looking forward to. So still to come, but yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah, I can talk about my mentor because I have an incredible relationship with her. I feel like she's just like an older version of me, working in something that she's totally passionate about. And so what I really love about her is that I feel like she's not just a mentor in the fact of what I'm working on. So at 826 Boston or in the writer's room, I feel like she's really guiding me through life, like a life coach, I would say, where we have like wellness check-ins, and she just really is there to serve me as much as I'm there to serve the organization, which is super important. And I think that's a very strong value that this organization in general has, or semester in the city has, because I always imagine being an intern as like you're getting coffee. That's not what this kind of internship kind of is. You're there to learn, and mentors are there to support you, and they're excited about it. And that's totally what my mentor is doing, and I'm having the best time with her. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks, Vera. Jackie, since you were a CA, can you tell me a little bit about kind of the community life activities that you planned, and a little bit about what your experience living in Boston was like?
Yeah, definitely. So as a CA, I came earlier into Boston to help move people in. And so you're kind of, everybody kind of has their own time slot to come along. And so I'd be there to welcome everybody and get everybody situated, figure out where the right place to go was. We'd kind of do like a training before the program starts for us to get more familiar with the city, and understanding what some of your needs might be, to make sure that we can be best prepared to help prepare you for your semester, and make sure everybody can stay as happy as possible. I was like one of 3 CAs. I'm not sure if the program has expanded on that or not, but we were kind of like just a team of people who would kind of notice things that were going on in the classroom, would be open to receiving feedback to students, to either talk to like the teachers or like more overhead people, to kind of understand like, if there was something that they were doing really well, we want to make sure that they would know. And also if there was anything that was like maybe students were kind of concerned about in the program, either if it be between like 2 students or like a teacher and a student, we would liaise on that to like teachers, so that they're aware of like what's going on, in a way that's like more comfortable for students to come talk to us than talk to professors in a way, because a lot of students felt more comfortable doing that. And that like element of feedback was definitely really critical to the program, because students really did have a big impact on how future semesters or even their current semester would come into play, and making changes to continuously make the program better each semester, I think was very key in my role. And then besides that, we did host a lot of events. I think I would host maybe like 2 events a month. And then we have like a community dinner sort of set up. And so I went to the Boston Aquarium one time. So everybody got free tickets to go to the Boston Aquarium, which was really fun when it was still like really nice and sunny out, and everybody can go outside and eat food before or after. We always went to the Haymarket, I feel like every weekend, because everybody loved getting these like crazy cheap vegetables that are like, we try to like theorize every week of like why the vegetables were so cheap. But I wish we had that in Burlington. I do have to say that. That would be really awesome. And I'm trying to think of what other events I did. Or at least I don't think I actually did it, but I wanted to do a like thrift shop hop, going to different thrift shops. But I think some people were into it, and then like we kind of changed the schedule a few times. We did like things like that were really fun, just to get to know the Boston area more. And so we basically would like ask students what they wanted to do, present ideas. So it wasn't exactly like us just like giving them ideas of what to do. Is more of like a need basis. Like, there's sometimes where students are like, I need something to distress me a little bit. And so one of our CAs had like a facial night, and everybody just like hung out and talked about like good like face cleaning, whatever habits, which was very fun and insightful for sure. And so we were just kind of there to, just see how like we can make the process more smooth for students throughout their entire semester. If we ever thought that like students seem to be very stressed out, we could talk to the teachers to kind of have like a break during the classroom, or, just kind of an activity that might like get everybody calm down and more like be more present in the classroom. So we did things like that. And we made sure to have like weekly meetings with our overhead to kind of have these conversations.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I love the way you talk about feedback, because one of the most important, I think, days of the year ends up being our mid-semester feedback session. We talk about human-centered design, and we teach human-centered design, which is all about putting the people who are most impacted by a program or a solution at the center and iterating around them. And that's what we try to practice, what we preach also. So we always have a mid-semester feedback day where students can give us all of the pros and complaints that they could possibly think of, and we take those really seriously and iterate each semester to make it to improve based on those comments. So yeah, thank you, Jackie. Obviously, Jackie was joining us pre-COVID. Mia was half pre-COVID and half in COVID, and Vera's doing the entire experience obviously under these chaotic conditions. So Mia and Vera, can I hear a little bit about kind of what the community life or residential life is like in the age of COVID? Because I know it's going to be a little different probably from going to the aquarium, but you guys are still doing some fun stuff, right?
I can definitely talk to that. So there are new guidelines, for example, with who can enter your living space, and they would obviously have to have masks on, and it can only be people from your program. So they have to make a very safe space for everyone, which is really great, because like that everyone feels more comfortable. So the community events are all a lot more socially distanced, so everything's like outside. Community wise, I have found a really great community with my roommates, which has been really awesome, because we've kind of been able to independently also do some things apart from the bigger groups. This weekend though, we are going to the harbor, which I'm super excited about, where it's a ferry, right? Yeah. I apparently I'm invited. I didn't know about it, but I just got the invitation. So there's the Boston Harbor does like it's a big outdoor boat. It does a trip out to the harbor islands and back. So that's one of the events. We're taking advantage of the warm weather as long as we can to do some group activities outside. So yeah, that's really exciting. Yeah, exactly. So there's still a lot of events going on. There definitely in a little bit of a different setting, but it's really awesome because you always still have opportunities to connect with other people in the program.
Awesome, thank you. Isabella or Gretchen, do you have any questions based on everything you've been hearing so far? Feel free to like speak up and ask any questions or anything you want to know more about.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of questions, but for as far as like, this is probably like a minor detail, but like for food, are you like completely on your own? You like buy your own groceries and cook your own food and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's kind of a combination of completely on your own, but somewhat supported. So part of what we talk about as a benefit of this program is really that a lot of it is kind of like adulting 101. A lot of people maybe haven't lived in an apartment like outside of a school setting or lived without a meal plan necessarily before. So it does really give you a good chance to like understand what it's like once you leave college and enter the real world. We provide a lot of resources around sort of budget and healthy cooking. This semester, everyone got like a cheap eats cookbook. And a lot of times roommates will kind of like come together to like meal plan and cook together in the apartment. When we were having our classes in person, we would feed you on Wednesday evenings and Fridays for breakfast and lunch. Unfortunately, the world is not going to let us all openly eat together in a room. So we've translated that into a food stipend. So the students get a $350 reimbursable food stipend to help defray costs, in addition to a $595 stipend that is just, you know, yours for whatever across the semester. Another thing that's changed is that we do have we used to just hand everyone an unlimited T-Pass as soon as they arrived so that they could ride the buses and the subway the whole semester for free. But because people's travel needs are different in COVID and not everyone's as comfortable with public transportation, we've converted that into a $320 reimbursable travel stipend. So you can use that on the bus or the subway, you could use that on Uber, you could use that to like rent a bicycle or buy a bike helmet. So we've really tried to come up with good ways to kind of make change versus those accommodations. But yeah, we definitely provide a lot of resources. Like Jackie was saying, you know, the Haymarket is the cheapest place to get food in town. And there's a lot of other resources in terms of where to access free or low cost food while you're there. Did I leave anything out? Anyone have any good roommate cooking stories they want to add?
I can say something about Haymarket really quickly. So I don't know if we've explained this enough, but Haymarket is this place. It's an outdoor market where you can get groceries at a very cheap cost, and it's amazing. And I've gone there so often that people think I'm like a local when I go and I'm shopping there, and people will ask me questions because it's very fast paced. So yeah, it's very funny. I love it so much. So I'm totally like already into it. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions, Gretchen or Isabella? Feel free. This is your time. So any thoughts or questions you have, feel free. I'm sure other people will have the same questions.
I can't think of any right now. It's just kind of, I didn't know like anything about the program, so I just wanted to hear about it. But yeah, I have another question.
Yeah.
So there's like the one class that we take, right, in addition to the internship. Is that run by like a professor from a school, or is it associated with the internship, or?
Great question. So there's actually two classes. So you have your internship Monday through Thursday. Wednesday, you get out of your internship a little bit early, and there's a Wednesday evening course. And then there's also a Friday workshop course. So the classes are run by our staff, CFSI staff. So we have Ashley is a professor just about to get her, I think she just got her PhD. So she was a doctoral candidate when we hired her. And she runs the Wednesday class, the one that's kind of more focused on social innovation and social change. And then the Friday class is a little bit varied. It ends up being a lot of different things, but it's really all about kind of making sure you understand have all the support that you need for your internship. We do a lot of the kind of like DEI or diversity and belonging work in that course as well, and getting you kind of like more prepared to be a professional. So there's a little bit of a differentiation. Those are also run by people on our staff. So it's all done in-house. And we have a whole instructional team working on curriculum. Obviously, we had to do a lot of work over the summer to effectively convert some of those to more virtual experiences. I think Mia was our guinea pig. Her cohort was the guinea pig on us trying to figure out those classes. But they're not like your typical classes where you would find like a lot of essays or exams or whatever. It ends up being more a lot kind of about learning through reflection and discussion and group work. So they're a little bit different from what you would normally expect from the classes. And Sophia, do you want to talk a little bit about how the credit works for UVM?
Yeah, I was just about to jump in when you were done anyway. So the reason it's a little bit confusing because we're just now switching for spring a little bit about how the credit works. So right now on the website, which is probably what you saw, Gretchen, that you get 12 credits for an internship and then 3 credits for the course. Sorry, confusion happening here. So in the past, the 12 credits included the Friday course. And then 3 credits were separate, but in future semesters, including spring, it'll be 9 credits for internship and then 3 credits for the Friday course and 3 credits for the Wednesday course. So this is the same total number of credits. It's just switching a little bit which courses you end up signing up for. So yeah, still 15 credits of arts and sciences credit. And if you have any questions about making it count towards your major or minor, you can let me know and we can start thinking about that, seeing if that'll be a possibility for you.
Sophia, is there anything else that you wanted to kind of add in terms of just talking about the program or what it's like to be a UVM student doing this program?
Well, I'm not really sure what it's like to do the program because I haven't done it, but
what it's like for you to shepherd students through the process, I guess is what I meant.
Of course, yeah. No, it's really very simple and straightforward, which I love, and it's so nice to be able to tell people like, oh, don't stress. There's a really supported application process, and on the UVM side, all you have to do is apply, get in, and Semester in the City takes it from there, and then we just make sure you sign up for the right credits. So it's actually really streamlined. As far as the tuition, it's just your normal tuition. I mean, you'll be charged the same way as always because you're enrolled in 15 UVM credits, so that's the same as always. And then instead of paying UVM for your dorm, you'll just cancel that, and I help you cancel that so that you don't get any fees or anything for cancellation, and then you just pay Semester in the City, or if you're staying somewhere else, you can, I guess, pay for whatever that is, or not pay if it's family. So it is pretty streamlined, and not a lot of stress on our side. The only thing that we ask you to check is check in with your advisor to make sure that the credits will count for you in a way that works and will get you towards graduation on time. And then do your degree audit, which is often part of that advisor conversation, but you can also do it on your own if you'd like.
Awesome, thank you. And just to quickly run through the application process on our end. So we are accepting applications right now for the spring 2021 semester and beyond. All spring 2021 semester applications have to be received by November 1st. And I'll send a follow-up email I have your email addresses from the registration, so I'll send a follow-up email with a little more information for both of you. But it's a really easy application process. It takes about 30 minutes to apply. There's like 3 short answer questions, but they're not like your college essays that you need to like toil over or anything like that. It's really just trying to get a chance to get to know you and begin to get an understanding of what your interests are so that you can make sure that you're matched with an organization that meets your needs. After we receive your application, we usually are able to get back to you within like 2 business days to schedule an interview. My colleague, Devin Cruz, is our Associate Director of Recruitment and Admissions. And Devin does all of our interviews. Again, not anything to super stress out about. it's a really just, again, the conversation, kind of getting to know you and making sure that this is something that's going to work for you in terms of your long-term goals. When I send out the follow-up email, we also put together a pretty cool like admissions tips and tricks like 2-pager that gives you some like interview tips and kind of an idea of what to expect. So if you have any interest in coming this next semester, I would say apply ASAP. We are doing rolling admissions, and the sooner you apply, the more time we have to find you that perfect match for your internship. But you can also apply for any future semester as well. There's just a drop down in the menu for that. All right, well, before we go, I'd love to just go back through our panelists and say, is there any advice that you would give someone who is considering semester in the city, or just, any sort of advice about choosing your next steps in terms of an experiential learning opportunity? Whoever wants to jump in.
I guess I was just thinking about, as you guys were talking about the application process, I thought it was very valuable to do a little bit of research on the different organizations that CFSI has partnered with in the past, and kind of like coming to your interview, being ready to kind of give those sorts of suggestions in terms of like your interests, and seeing where students, like what sort of interest students have had, and connecting that to the place that they were actually placed in, I think will be really helpful. And I know that Elena has that information. So definitely asking Elena all those questions, ask as many questions as you like, because everybody's so willing to answer questions. And then also what I've been thinking back on now, I had a journal. We all got these journals that we could write in through CFSI, and I took those very seriously. It wasn't like my first set of notes journal. It was like anything that I thought was really cool or interesting, I would put into there, so I could save it for later. And I still go back and look through it every now and again, to kind of apply it to what I'm learning now in school. And whenever I just like want to connect back to even a person, like I save business cards in my journal, and so I've been like connecting with people that I met during the program that way as well. And so, that's just like my little part of the program that I keep with me.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. No matter what you end up doing, is kind of keeping that like, who am I meeting and what am I learning, sort of as a running record. So great advice. Thanks, Jackie. Mia or Vera?
Yeah, I'd say, actually, it's funny, I also still have my CFSI journal, and I know like all of my friends from the program, like it's so like sacred to us. But yeah, anyways, about the application, just apply. It's so quick and easy and free, and even if you're not sure you want to do it, just like get a foot in and then you can figure it out. But it was the best experience I've had of my college years. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough, and I strongly urge you to just go ahead and throw in your application.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was along with that. I was gonna say to just like take a deep breath and not stress out about the application process or the experience or anything like that. This is a very open-minded community, and if you have questions, anyone is willing to answer them. So, this entire program is there for you, right? It's there for the students. So, that's something really exciting. And I'm a person that gets really anxious and stressed out when applying to things or deciding what am I going to do with my future. And, that's why I would say absolutely do it, because this is an environment that lets you just reflect on yourself and the world around you, and just like grow as a person. And yeah, so don't hesitate to ask anything, and just relax about it. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
really fun.
Thank you. I'm putting a link in the chat so that if you want to give us your information, I can reach out to you specifically. But I really want to thank all of our panelists for coming, and for Gretchen and Isabella and anyone that's watching this recorded for coming and listening to this program. I'm going to stop recording right now.